Hello and welcome to episode 202 of the Awesome Comics Podcast, the place where the small press makes one hell of a big noise. I'm Vince Hunt, creator of The Red Mask from Mars, and I'm here with the amazing creator of the webcomic Vanguard, Dan Butcher.
Hello.
Our surfer dude from the OC, Mr. Tony Esmond.
It's nice to be here, because I think I missed a week last week. I have no memory whatsoever of being on the show last week.
Is that the trauma of running it? Is that what it is?
The trauma of you going, oh, my internet's down, Tony, you're going to have to record it. I'm like, I don't know how to turn my computer on. This is going to go wrong. And then just for the whole time, trying to think of things to say whilst watching two little bars of lights go up and down, and me thinking, does that mean it's recording? I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
Do you have no memory of last week.
You know, can you relate to my struggle week on week now?
Yeah, I can. Actually. And do you know the worst thing is, after 201 episodes, Dan fucked his name up on the...
Yeah, I know, and I wasn't there. I wasn't there for it, which I really miss it. But yes, I'm back, folks.
Yay! But we struggled through, didn't we, Dan? We did all right.
Yeah, and I'll have to say, episode 201, thanks to Imber and Jenkins from Reckless Hero for doing this as well, because that was a brilliant show. I got lots of information. Lots of other people out there did as well. You did really well, guys.
Thank you.
I'm very proud of you.
Milmo was saying this week's going to be better. So,
oh God, don't pick it up.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah. Who's that? Who's that?
Pressure.
We've got another guest. Yes, we have.
Yeah.
See? This week we're joined by someone you all know and love. Creator of the hit series NPC Tea and the M to the I to the L to the M to the O. Oh yes, it's Sarah Millman.
Nice.
Oh, I love it.
Vince is back.
Oh my God,
I will never be so excited again. That's the best thing I've ever heard.
Good. I love that. I'll never live up to that. Thanks.
You need that as your little noise that goes off on your phone when you get a text.
And, I think I should be one of those people at the convention this weekend who has that as a buzzer on my table, just to intimidate everyone around me.
Yeah.
Everyone will love me.
It's because I've seen, Run DMC has got a comic out there and he sells it. He's been selling it at the same convention. I don't know which one of Run or D or whatever he is, but he does like a little rap in the middle of the convention hall and everyone sort of joins in. You could do that. Just get Vince up to your table, microphone, standing on the table, M to the I. It'd be good. Yeah.
I missed. He was at Thought Bubble, wasn't he? Like a couple of years back, and he did like an impromptu set, and it was the 1 year I was like, I'm not going to go to the party. I just to be like, shit. Like the 1 year I didn't go. Thanks for the reminder. That was great.
Yeah, that's right. Any other bad memories? I'll bring them up later.
Yeah. It's good to
Speaking
have you back,
MCM.
though. Yeah. Well, you can get lots of comics on MCM, can't you? But do you know where else you can get lots of comics? Oh God,
Comic House.
Yeah, Comic House. See, I've fallen off the wagon. See, I was doing so well.
He's so proud.
Yeah,
so proud of us.
Yeah. I can't follow up what these guys did last week, but what I can do is read loads of amazing comics on Comic House. Yes, they are the sponsor of this show.
I thought you were going to go into a rap again. I was holding my breath thinking he's going to do another rap now.
It was like House of Pain. Literally would be painful listening to me doing that. So
everyone, Crisscross, they're cool, aren't they? Let's do them instead.
Yeah, they make you jump. They do make you jump.
They make you, and they make you wear your clothes on backwards.
Yeah, only your trousers, Tony. The rest of it just looks stupid. You look like back to front from the Raggy Dolls.
In my pajamas back at boarding school.
Oh, that's a story for another show.
I got a dirty laugh out of Dan on that one.
I was going to say something. But no. You don't go there.
That one's going in the vault.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll tell you who else has a vault, and that's Comic House, and it's a vault full of amazing comics.
Bring it back around.
Bring it back. Wiki. No, I'm not going to do that.
Oh my God.
Should we just fucking start again? This is just terrible.
Yeah.
No. Keep going, Vince. Keep going.
Yeah. We got back once again for the running. No, I'm not. I could do this whole show. Anyway, but instead I'm going to do the sponsorship ad because Comic House put up with us every week. I would say they sponsor us, but they put up with us, and you know it. Yes, they have a huge selection of titles on their database. And if you self-publish your comics, you can list your book on there for free, and it's another way to start selling hard copies of your books. There's loads of great creators on there, and if you go to comichouse.com, you can see lots of the stuff you can purchase there. But they also have an app, an amazing app that we check out all the time. Our books are on there, and we love an app.
Yeah.
It's like Netflix for comics. It's only £3 a month subscription with a 14-day free trial, and there's loads of stuff on there. Dan, what have they got on there at the moment?
We've got The Forest, the Chair, and Those Forsaken there by James McCulloch, which is
Nice.
really dark. Yeah, got
Also, the
Megatomic.
best title of a comic ever made.
Yeah.
I just love that title somehow. I just think it's brilliant. Yeah.
We've got Megatomic Battle Rabbit, issue 3, The Solitary Divide, issue 1, The High Priestess, chapter 3, Surrealsville 12, and Comedy and Errors anthology. I've not read any of the Surrealsville comics.
No, I haven't either, actually.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
On that.
That's up to issue 12, so it might be worth dipping in on that.
well, you know, if you've got a Comic House subscription, you can go on there and read all of them. So go to comichouse.com, find out more, and we might have some more competitions later on in the year involving Comic House. So stay tuned.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we love a competition. We haven't had a competition for ages.
No, we destroy the competition.
We did have the mother of all competitions with that raffle.
Oh
We did. That is true. That was cracker. Yeah. No, it was nice to see people posting that they've received all the stuff and all that now. It's good, yeah.
Yes.
Kennedy put one up today, didn't he?
Yeah. Fantastic stuff. But that was episode 200, which seems so far away. But,
It does. That was quite a tiring day.
It was. I'll tell you what
was.
is tiring as well, is when you go over
Comic
to the
House.
United States of America, Tony.
Yes, that is tiring.
Because you're calling us
Especially-
from the... what was it? It's not the Golden State, is it? Is it the Golden State?
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know.
Is it? I don't know. Well, I'm in California. I went to Hollywood, did a bit of that, came out early, saw Bob Fingerman and all my pals there. That was a great time. And then I went to the NCS Festival at Huntington Beach, which is, I'm told, I just found out about 10 minutes ago, is the centre for surfing in the States. And it's brilliant. It's like the Beach Boys. It's like that down here. Brilliant it is. And
Is that your most recent sort of reference?
the beach, Kokomo.
Oh, God.
Could have said Point Break.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Yeah,
Tony, I can imagine you like...
Because I've been snapping up on my board all week.
Oh, I bet you have. You won't watch it, though. You go blind. Anyway.
Well, I actually just done an interview, which you'll probably hear in a couple of weeks, with AJ Dungo, who's done a book called In Waves about surfing. And I've just had a lovely bit of breakfast with him, sat there chatting to him, and we'll go up in a couple of weeks. And I think you should look forward to it, because I genuinely, I've been touting this book for weeks now, but I genuinely think it'll be the book of the year for a lot of people. I think it's going to win some awards. The most touching, but it's a combination of the history of surfing and a relationship he had, and it's one of the most touching books I've read in a long time. So that'll be in a couple of weeks. But other than that, it's been. I keep sending you guys pictures, don't I? Like constant pictures of who I meet.
No, not pictures like that, Milner.
No, Milmo.
Sorry, I didn't mean that laugh to sound so dirty.
So out here are quite a few Brits. So Mark Jackson and Nick Brokenshire are out here, who have not been spending huge amounts of time in the pub. They've been spending all the time in the pub. No, they haven't. They've done other things as well. And I've been having a drink with them, and they're great company. But also are the Viz boys. So the boys from Viz are out here. That's been good. So I got to chat to them. Something more from them maybe in the future.
Yeah.
Simon Thorpe and Graham Jury, they're absolutely brilliant. They've got a sign that says "You won't know us, we're English" on their table. And I went over, and the first thing I said to them is, I said, "I'd do anything for love, but I wouldn't take up the Gary Glitter," which was a title of a 1990s issue of his. And immediately they started laughing, and then they didn't have business cards, so they drew me a sketch and wrote their email on the bottom bit. So how cool is that? So I got a Finbar Saunders and
that's quite nice.
Sid the Sexist, and so that's good. Lewis Trondheim and Sergio Aragones, who everyone should know who they are.
Yeah.
I went to a Lewis Trondheim panel, and Lewis came and sat next to me. And Lewis is like a god in Paris, in France. He's he really is bande dessinée, just genius. And I was chatting to him. He's got a book out called Maggie Garrison, which I spoke about a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
And it's probably one of the best detective books I've ever read, and it's set in London. And we're chatting about that, and then I ended up sort of going shopping with Sergio Aragones. He was looking for chicken soup, and I sort of wandered about a bit with him.
Why is that such a Tony Esmond story? What is that?
And he was just a joy, absolute joy. And then he did a panel. I don't know if you know this, but Mad Magazine did for all the years they ran. They did a fake business trip where they would take all their writers and artists to different parts of the world, and they went on a safari. London, and they were clearly like just the most debauched And you've got all the mad creators together, you know, our Jaffe and all these guys, just the funniest trips. And Sergio did a panel which was packed, full of professionals, full of National Cartoon Society, sitting there listening to him say, "Oh, we went to Africa, and one of us was pretending to be a lion," and you know, it was just, and some which I probably won't say on the podcast, but some unrepeatable stories which people in the audience were just chuckling at because they were on that trip and stuff like that. I mean, someone had a heart attack while they were there. I think they were just so drunk. Someone.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's just like the worst. You know, like rugby trips are famous for sort of, you know. I think I get the impression it was the sort of comics version of that. I got to meet Mary Fleener, which anyone knows Mary. She's done a lot of stuff. She was in Weirdo magazine, you know, with Crumb and all these guys. And I just sat there, and she came and sat next to me, and I just started chatting to her. And I sat and had a coffee with Mary Fleener, who's like a huge hero of mine. Because
this sort of show, like, you know, we mentioned these sort of names, these legends of cartooning and things like that.
Yeah.
And certainly when you spring to mind, you think that, you know, this is. I'm thinking like, you know, packed out MCM numbers, but it was a quieter, more casual show, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah. There's two elements to it. There's a bit which is in a hotel, which is, for anyone who doesn't know, National Cartoonist Society of America is a mixture of comic artists and Sunday strip artists and sort of editorial artists, you know, cartoonists that you get in newspapers and stuff. And it's quite an old organisation. And then there's a lot of sort of old faces, you know, like just great artists, like just amazing sort of satirical guys, like the sharpest minds, you know, they really are. So Bob Fingerman came down. So I'd seen Bob in LA, and we'd been out for dinner and stuff with his friends and family, and then we went out. He came down here, and it's me, him, and a guy called Joe Dator, Dator. Look him up on Instagram. He's an incredible New Yorker cartoonist. And we just hung out, and it's just like. And then we were sitting in the sort of outside of Starbucks thing, and we were joined by Martin Rosen. If anyone knows Martin, Martin's the Guardian. He's the Guardian's, you know, cartoonist and more. Oh, wow. And he had a pen from a dip pen from Ronald Searle.
Oh my god!
And I know, yeah. So we all got pictures of ourselves holding this dip pen, you know, all this sort of thing.
Which must look like the oddest camera roll you'd ever see.
And then he said, "All right, come on then." And me and him had to talk about, because we're like the two Londoners there, and they talk about South London. And then he said, "Right, come on, we're all going to get pink champagne. I've got to present this pen to someone." And we went in the bar and drank. You know, it's like that. It was just to be fair, I proper feel like I'm like the interloper. You know, I'm like this sort of geezer who's just sort of wandering. I think partly because Bob's such a good friend of mine. He's introduced me. Yesterday I got to hang out with Jaime Hernandez and met Gilbert Hernandez, and you know, it's like. And then I met Daniel Clowes. I got to have a nice coffee conversation with Daniel Clowes, and I'm thinking Jeffrey Brown. Me and Brokenshire had a great chat with Jeffrey, you know, before and after the panel that he did with him and stuff. And you know, I think sometimes when you get into the sort of the first time I went to New York when New York started, it's not quite that sort of pop culture thing that these things kind of unfortunately are turned into sometimes. And you get the time, like the first New York, I got to sat with Jim Starlin and all these sort of people, you know. And I think it's a bit like that. So to sort of hang about in the hotel and people come and sit with you. And the lady this morning started talking to me, who does a newspaper strip in the Sundays funnies that they have out here, and she was showing me it, and I just happened to sit next to her in Starbucks, and it's like pretty incredible, I have to say.
Awesome.
Yeah. So there's two elements, and then there's like a street market as well, where they've got stalls and all this sort of thing. And you can buy back issues, and you can buy caricatures, and you can buy original. They got original Cuba art and stuff like that. You know, it's all with the backdrop of this like amazing huge beach with pelicans flying over, and people walking past you with surfboards and stuff like that. It's quite a thing.
Yeah. Can we expect a nice big blog post about it in the future?
Yeah, well, I think so. Yeah, you've seen I've taken loads of photographs. Of, me and Sergio.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, when me and Serge were just getting, we were getting chicken soup, weren't we, eh? I said, "Do you want bachelor's, son? That's what you want, bachelor's. That's a good one."
It's brilliant. I reckon if they do it again, and it's not too. I would say in maybe 3 or 4 years this will be too much. You'll go and you won't get close to anyone. But I think if you came next year, you'd probably be able to just, if you know the right places to go and sit, you'll get chatting to people. You know.
Yeah. So it had that
I'm
sort of
literally
feeling.
sitting next to people and sorry, man, I'm sitting next to people and Bob's telling me their name, and I'm like leaning back in my chair and googling them so I can know what to talk about. Simon Russell sent me a message saying, "Try not to say the wrong thing," because you know what, I'm in the middle of a conversation. I'll go anal, because I think it's funny in my head. It's just pops out of my mouth. The sort of the greatest thinkers in American literature are sitting around me going, "Who's this geezer wearing an Awesome Comics Podcast T-shirt again?" And I'll have to run off. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the fact that you're wearing the T-shirt though, Tony.
Mate, proper repping it as well. Yeah. I walked up to what's his name again? There's this great cartoonist, Mort Gerber, I think his name is. Mort Gerberg. And I walked up to him, and he's got. I think I sent you a picture of him. He's got like an eye patch on, and he's a legend, an absolute legend. He's like an 82-year-old guy, and he just sort of strained, looked at him, and went, "Small press comics." Like they just said it like that. And I'm like,
Oh God.
Okay, nice to meet you. He was off. We were off at the races. Yeah. But I've been repping the pod. I only work for one day, dear listeners.
Yeah.
I don't wear T-shirts more than one day. That's right.
Yeah, he burns them after then. We're not going to say why. No, it's definitely one to look out for, especially for our listeners over there in the States and stuff. If you're in the area, and it's nice.
I got you boys a cheeky present.
Oh, lovely! You're far too kind, Tony, as always.
I know. It's very true.
Yeah.
On the other side of the pond, Vince, you was a con over here.
Lawgiver.
I was at Lawless, Tony.
Lawless, sorry.
Yeah.
Not allowed to call it Lawgiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an injunction.
Which was a great day, great fun, and I've got a list of names to write out, but I'm going to save it to the shout-outs. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's how I roll. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
But no, in all seriousness, it was a fun day. It was a great day, and thank you to anyone that came back past the table and picked up awesome comics, etc., and just chatted. So that's what's great about these events. So you can have some great conversations with people. So
sort of brings us round to this week's
yes. Because as we talk, this coming weekend, May the 24th to the 26th of 2019, the year of our Lord, it is MCM London. Now, a lot of people will know that this is one of the biggest shows of the convention calendar for many people, whether it's creators, fans, cosplayers, or basically just people who just want a big day out, because it is quite a day out.
I mean, numbers-wise, it's the biggest con, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's something like, is it like the fourth biggest con in the world? There's something like that. There's some figure out now.
Yeah. I think the last time I checked the numbers, it was something like 120,000.
Oh,
right.
I think that was
C2E2 numbers, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
I think that was in 2016, 2017, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, there's a lot of buzz about it. There's a I don't know. There's some sort of buzz about it this year. I don't know what it is, but mainly
we're there, mate. We're there.
Yeah, the show has been discussed. It's been discussed many times, and for the most part, we've played the part of like outsiders looking in, because none of the regulars here have ever exhibited there. Tony popped in once, lost his rag, and left. But that's because he's a man, baby.
You newbies!
I've done tables with Reynolds City.
Yeah, but how many years ago was that?
Wasn't with me oh god, that was 6-7 years ago.
Oh
maybe
yeah,
more.
of course, yeah. Yeah, well, you're going to be able to tell me how things have changed, Dan. Yeah, because not only does the Awesome Pals have a table where myself and Dan Butcher will be bringing the thunder, but Tony Esmond is going to be right in the thick of it too when he runs the No-Brow table is it on the main floor?
Yeah, I think I referred it to the screeching people dressed about screaming table area.
Yeah, he's very pleasant when you meet him, folks. Trust me.
I'm not really.
If you want to sell something, you are.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, give me your money. Yeah. I'm not going to adopt the James McCulloch. Mate, you going to fucking buy something or not? Which he is my hero for saying that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So,
are you guys in the South Hall then for No Brow? Are you in the North? Do you know?
Not sure.
Are you near? I'm guessing you're going to be near Comic Village, right? Surely.
I don't know.
Any kind of logic.
No, I mean it cost us a few quid for a stall. I'm not going to say because it's not my money, but it was a good lump of money to get there. So I'm hoping we're going to be front and centre with all the big, movie stuff and all that sort of thing. Yeah, I was kind of not that I'm doing Comic Village down at all, but we've got
whatever.
Yeah.
You're in like kind of the dealer bit, aren't you? Like the big boys, as it were.
I think so. Yeah, I hope so. Anyway, yeah.
So yeah, with all of this in mind, we wanted to talk a bit about like the show itself, to actually sort of focus on it properly, because normally we've talked about debates about, you know, the show itself and pop culture conventions, blah blah blah, and people's experiences.
Yeah.
But basically, to put it bluntly, we want to try and prepare to survive the weekend. So we put a shout out for handy tips and info, and also drafted in someone who's no stranger to exhibiting in these shows, our pal Milmo.
Yeah.
Hello.
In fact, the first time we ever met Milmo was at one of these.
What, at an MCM?
Yeah, I'd just done a Heart of Time review.
Oh, yeah.
And I came up to you and I said, "Oh, hello, I did a Heart of Time review," and you tried to give me a copy of it because you thought I was there to collect my Kickstarter.
Oh.
And I said, no, I've done this. And you went, "Oh, right, yeah."
And then I put the comics away. I was like, not for you.
Yeah. If you're not buying, mate.
Get away.
If you're not buying, mate, move along.
Yeah. You're going to buy something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've been doing, I've done MCM London every year since 2013, 2012, 2013.
Oh, wow, okay.
Wow.
Nice.
I've tried to do every single one, but I think I've missed one or two.
So is that including the October ones?
Yeah.
Oh wow! So you see why we drafted in this veteran to talk about.
Milmo can be considered an expert on this subject.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
she is the expert. She could prove us wrong by the end of this show, but we'll.
Oh yeah, probably I will.
Yeah.
I think before we started, I was like, oh yeah, the amount of breakdowns that I've had at MCM London. Like I measure it and how many panic attacks I've had.
Yeah, something to look forward to. But
You have got advice around that, though, haven't you? You'll be giving advice later in the show.
Yes.
About how to deal with going nuts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drugs, no.
Yeah.
Drink heavily.
Alcohol.
Yeah. Before we kick off with the handy tips, because like a lot of you out there responded with some great tips and stuff, I just want to say I personally can't wait for it. I'm quite
hell
You've
yeah,
never
I'm
been
really
to one, have
excited.
you?
I've
You've
never been to one. I've never exhibited. I've only heard the stories. You know, good, the bad, the ugly. You know, always. You know, the good,
The dark.
Yeah, the
side of
dark.
MCM.
But yeah, I'm just really excited to sort of experience it. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be it's going to be tiring. I know this, but
Yeah.
It will be. Yeah, we'll be knackered. Won't we?
But in a good way. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's just we're going to be surrounded by comics.
I was thinking about setting up a Facebook event for that Chinese restaurant. I can imagine we're going to get a few faces go to that.
Oh yeah, we're going out one with Imber and that. Yeah, that was hilarious when I went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the one? The thing is, I feel really hesitant about talking about all the restaurants I go to at MCM, just in case it gets filled up like the Fox. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, oh yeah, there's this really nice place that I go to, but I kind of don't want to say it. But is it the one that's like just outside
And the old
way.
sort of the old looking buildings. You know, they look like they've been there from long before the
It's
Excel
like
days.
downstairs from the Excel. It's like down the street from the Fox, basically.
That's it. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right.
That's
Is that
what
a
it's
drinking place near the Fox?
Another one.
Is there anywhere else near?
The thing is, people usually ended up in the Novotel, but then last October there was that massive. It was the Critical Role, you know, the podcast, the D&D thing, Critical Role. A lot of them had a meetup in the Novotel bar, and that was just like completely rinsed. It was really quiet and nice, and everyone, you know, and creators used to go there, and I just stuck my head in and was like, nope, 100%. But there is also a really nice Italian. The Italian's nice as well. The one next door to the Chinese is really good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
Sounds good.
Don't put that in the podcast because everyone will go. So.
Yeah. Milmo's got her own table in there. No one's allowed to sit there.
Don't take the table. That's the thing, is it's usually quiet enough that you're guaranteed a table, but
Okay.
maybe not this year. Who knows?
What is it about like MCM that keeps you coming back like year on year?
It's going to sound really mercenary, but to be honest, money really is the bottom line. But also, like, it's out of all of the conventions, it is really like a pop culture one. It's really overwhelming, and there's a lot of stuff that isn't comics there. However, I found that my audience is the most diverse there. There's lots of like teenagers, lots of like LGBT plus, like loads of, you know, it's a really diverse crowd who go there. It's really intense. That's the only downside, is that it's just so intense. Yeah, I think that's what brings me back every time. The first couple of times I went, I was properly like, oh my goodness, because it's what you imagine conventions to be like before you start doing them. In that it's like, look at all this nerd stuff. And like, the 16-year-old me was absolutely shitting themselves with joy. In that there was just, oh, look, there's Dragon Ball things. Oh my goodness. Whereas, now I'm a lot more jaded. But...
You're a lot more bitter, aren't you?
Bitter, jaded, all of
I guess with like you say, you can get access to a lot more kind of people who wouldn't ordinarily get their eyes on your comic. Will be there at MCM.
That's why we're there, isn't it? Yeah.
It's such a huge amount of people, just massive. You won't. That's the thing. I don't think there's any event now that really competes with MCM on the same kind of scale. Personally, I know a lot of people that get quite bitter about it and it's like, oh, it's not really about the comics. But honestly, I think it's so massive that there is space for comics. I don't know. I've never really. A couple of years ago, I went in and thought that, but. Recently.
I think we've gone on a bit of a roller coaster around what you're saying there, Milmo. I think we used to say that. We used to say like FMCM, but unfortunately, it's now a thing. We kind of accept it more, and there is quite a significant comic village there now, which is about.
I think
it's
changed,
about
doesn't it?
Improving again, isn't it? Yeah. We've heard that the London Super Comic Con are taking over the comic village, and we'll be curating it there.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it's going to grow.
I think also they're doing more panels this time. So they actively, I don't know if you guys got the email saying like, oh, we're looking for people to do panels. So maybe that will help. I don't know. And we're in a better position because I remember a couple of years ago we were right at the back and that was a bit, it didn't. Yeah. That was the year that I was like, oh, for God's sake. Like, I was a bit annoyed about it. I think that was the year I kicked off a bit about it. But now I think they've listened and they put us nearer the front. We're like right by the north doors. So hopefully, there's a lot better, I think.
There's a few professional, not calling us unprofessional, but there's a few professional comic creators who do it as well. I know Gary Erskine does it a lot, and John McRae does it quite a lot, doesn't he? There's a few that they do earn a lot of money at it, I think,
And they're also sat amongst like the Comics Village people as well, aren't they?
They are. Yeah. There tends to be a little run of them on one, just maybe on one aisle where they've obviously got the ear of someone and said, oh, can we just, can I be next to him? I work with him or whatever, There's occasionally a little bit of that. So they're not sort of lumped right in the middle of sort of...
the unwashed.
In terms of positioning on the short shot floor and the convention map, we haven't really discussed these before, so this would be quite interesting. Now, a lot of people sort of say, here's where my table is, etc., to their Twitter masses it. How successful do you think those are on the whole, doing things like that?
I think sort of question mark. It depends really. Like I think sometimes because MCM is so big, I found in recent years it's been useful because this is the first time in the past couple of years that I've had people actively looking for my table. It's been useful then. I find the most useful thing is to just cover all your bases. So you've got you've got the screenshot of the map on your Twitter, circled your table, put your table number, but then also taking pictures of like what's around you, like what's the banner that's above you, who's the like noticeable table that's near you, so you can be like, hey, I'm under the Aquaman banner, like.
That's a good idea. That's a great idea.
That's a good idea.
And also using the door numbers. So in the Excel Center, you have like I'm looking at the Comic Village map now. It has like N1, N2 are in the North Hall this time. If you're like, look up, I'm on the row that says N1, N2. That helps too. Okay. So it's not just like saying your table number, because some people will never reference table numbers. I know in past years as well, they haven't had like little stands with numbers. When you've got like a bit of it's like a little stand. It's basically just a bit of paper that says in each row. Like in London, they never used to do that, but I was in Birmingham a couple of months back and they've started doing that now. So that should be helpful, that people can stand at the end of the row and go, oh shit, so-and-so's on this row, so that might help. But yeah, who knows?
Yeah, because I think obviously with those sort of maps and stuff, and this goes the same for Thought Bubble and stuff. When Thought Bubble comes around, you're going to see maps everywhere that have been amended by people and stuff. And I've done them. I've done them many times. We're going to do one for the Awesome Pod and stuff for this show and for Thought Bubble. But I do wonder sometimes, who is this hitting? But like you say, you don't know. You have to do it because you never know. There may be that one person that is looking out for you, that is thinking, oh, they're going to be there, right? I need to reference that. So you do need to. I think it is handy.
Let's be fair with you guys. I don't think it's going to be one person. There's going to be lots of people who are going to be looking out for you. And I think
what, the police?
the police,
law enforcement. Yeah. Angry husbands. That's another.
Grudge. Nemesis.
Yeah, that's a law enforcement follow-up from last week.
But
don't bring that up. You don't like it.
No. Yeah.
Having a number and having a map, all you can do to get people to find your table.
Yeah, because we look at the maps. I certainly, when I go to these conventions, if I want to look out for a certain book, I've seen that I'm going to be releasing this. Oh, where they're going to be? I need to, because the shopping list, as I found with the years go by with conventions, I'm sort of buying less, but I'm more specific in what I'm buying. So I'm definitely sort of like, right, I need to hit this table up for that and hit that table. I'm definitely going to get those ones. I browse less and I'm more streamlined, But if I see something cool on the way to that thing, then, then people can win me over. So, yeah, I'm certainly looking at the maps and seeing where people are, where situated and stuff. Also,
especially if there's a limited release. If there's a new release out and you think it's going to sell out, sometimes you go straight for that.
Yeah,
if there's an artist or a creator, I'll just go in straight for them, and then I think, right, I've done what I wanted to do. Now I can have a wander around. I do that quite a lot at conventions.
Tony, on your Nobel, you're going to be selling the Hilda figures again because they went like.
Oh yeah,
so
they're like crack dolls. Yeah. We've had them for ages, and then the cartoon hits, and everyone wants them. I sell out. I think at Thought Bubble I sold out before we opened.
Bloody hell! Was that to other creators?
Yeah. So and people who'd reserved them. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit like that. So, we'll have a big pile of them and a big pile of Hilda books. And we've got a few new releases, which we're going to push as well. So we'll be half adult no-brow books, half Flying Eye kids books.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, to the person who's never done an MCM before, Milmo, turning up on the first day and you've got to kind of register and book in, what's the best way to go about it? Get there super early or bang on the dot? Or
are you guys going to turn up on the Thursday or are you going to turn up on the Friday?
I am, but Vince, you're coming in on the Friday, aren't you? I think.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, me and Dan.
It doesn't take us too long to turn the table around. To be fair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's just being prepared, to be honest, because I've done it lots of different ways now, in the sense of some days I think in October I was the first person in Comic Village to turn up, and I put up my banner and I was like, this is my town now, suckers. Like, I put it all over Twitter, like, whee! And that was really nice because you could just relax. But I turned up on like a Friday, running through the doors, like panicking, covered in sweat as well. And I think I've always gone to the mantra of, as long as it's better to just be prepared, even if you're late, as long as you're prepared. Like, do you know what I mean? It's better to be late and have everything, and to have, because they send you out this form that you have to fill out. And I've never, as long as you've got that, like, that's the main thing. But I will say that if you're looking at parking, so if you're going to get like a parking pass, get there as early as you possibly can. If you want to park,
we've got one for ours, so you can park underneath with our one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because I know they have a limited number of discounted parking, but they tend to run out very quickly. So if you want to do that, like, get there at Friday or really early on. Get there on Thursday or really early on Friday.
That's good
if you're
advice,
and also if you're setting up on Thursday or on Friday and you want to use the back doors, so you're going in through the loading bay, make sure you have high vis or they will not let you in. So that's top tip.
One thing we're going to be running a card machine. Do you need to get the Wi-Fi Plus thing that they use, or is it kind of connection-wise you can get on okay there?
I never use the Wi-Fi. I use my data. I've heard that people struggle with their Wi-Fi. And if you get on the Wi-Fi, like, do that first thing, like, make sure you're all set up for the Wi-Fi and you get, because I'm not 100% sure how, like, Wi-Fi priorities work, but I think, to test it and see, how it's doing, because I know that everything slows down like midday, like just early afternoon on a Saturday is usually like peak time. So if you're going to try doing card payments, then like that is the worst time. But personally, I'd have a look at your data and see if you can wrangle it through your data, because I've done that. I'm on Virgin and I did that. I've done that for however long.
I'll probably do a little top up on my data, just because it shouldn't churn up too much, just to use the sort of reader and stuff.
I thought if everyone's on the network at that same time in that small area, it might fuck it up. But
the other thing, you just to quickly butt in there, guys, before we get off the subject, but you're talking about getting in early, Milmo, is the other thing I ever sort of frustrates me is when you get in there slightly late and people have put their banners up around your table, or they've thought, I'll cheekily move this table back 6 inches so I can get my big banner in behind, and you're sort of stuck, crammed in behind a table when you should have. And there's a certain etiquette to it, isn't it? So that's why I like to get in there early, because I'm almost like I stake my claim on the spot, and no one can sort of take the piss, I suppose.
Yeah, you don't want to get
knocked off. Another really big thing when you get in there early is watch your chairs. Like, chair thieves at MCM are rampant. So if you can get somebody, if you know you're not going to get there till Friday, and if you know one of your friends is going to be there on a Thursday, get them to try and like put your chairs behind their table or something, like to try and not make your chairs obvious. Because I think last October I went on an absolute rampage trying to find people chairs. There was one row where people had none. There were no chairs for nobody. And I was walking around Comic Village, and there were 1 or 2 people who were doing commissions, and they were doing cartoons, and they'd taken a chair from someone else's table so that the person that they were drawing could have somewhere to sit. And just, it can get I don't know what it's going to be like this time. It's always on the feedback to say, we've paid for, like, because you pay for 2 extra passes now that should have a chair. So everyone's like, we've paid for these chairs. But, it can just get a massive scramble. So I know some people, what they do is they get cable ties and they cable tie their chairs to their table to make sure.
Bad shout,
Yeah. What I do is I just put out my tablecloth and I just cover my chair. I put that over my tablecloth because, I've never had my chair stolen yet, but... I think it's because the tablecloth is across it. They think, it's a little bit far to go behind their table and like lift that up. It's just like one of those things to just not make your stuff obvious.
And as much as we like to say, let's stand up for the whole day, it does get you down a bit the whole day. And if you want to drink a cup of coffee or have a sandwich, you've got to sit down occasionally.
One time offered to you guys, and if anyone's desperate who's listening and they turn out that they don't have a chair, usually I have a spare. So, because I'm always tabling by myself. So what
we're going to say, 20 quid a day for the length? You want you walk around, do you want a chair, geezer? There you go, how much you want? Yeah.
It's good shout to get on with the people on either side of you as well, I guess, make friends early.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I usually... ask around if people want a coffee or a tea or something, and everyone's doing okay, because it's nice to have good vibes with everyone around you.
What is their sort of interaction like? Because normally a lot of conventions, and certainly with Thought Bubble and stuff, people wander around and they socialise and stuff, like creator to creator, rather than like general public. But MCM isn't that kind of show, is it? With some people, do you find that most people sort of stick to their tables for most of the show?
It varies. I think. Because MCM is so busy, I found in previous years I haven't been able to leave. In recent years I haven't been able to leave, especially as I table by myself. But I would say that people are like, it is just as friendly as like a Thought Bubble or something like that. And I think as well, people are desperate to have a walk around because it just gets overwhelming. You need to have a walk around and talk to somebody who, and I love teenagers in cosplay in that they are very enthusiastic, and a lot of them are my client or my like customer base. Like, I'm not going to diss them, but there is a point where you're like, I just need to sit somewhere quiet and not have to talk to anybody.
Which gets us onto origami. You've discovered.
It wasn't me, it was somebody else who I was talking to. If you are having a stressful time at MCM London, which usually everybody does, last year there was an origami section where you could just sit and fold paper cranes in the quiet. and they recommended that.
It's sort of gently rocking backwards and forwards on your chair and humming to yourself. Yeah.
Having a little cry. But honestly, if anybody does have a little cry at MCM, please do not feel bad, because I think the majority of MCMs that I've done, I've had a panic attack at some stage.
I had a cry when I heard I was doing it. Never mind.
The thing is, I think it's that sense of it's overwhelming, isn't it? It's like, it just hits you straight away. I mean, I can only, like, when I went to New York and seeing Times Square for the first time, you have an idea of what it's going to be like, but when you see there, when you get there, it's such an onslaught that you're sort of taken aback, aren't you? Of like, oh my God, this is overwhelming.
I think we're almost in that area now with what we do. Is there's very rarely we'll go to a convention, there'll be someone that we don't know or we've never seen before.
Yeah.
You know, with Troops and Nottingham and all the ones we do. But the thing is, I think at MCM you're going to find, there's a lot of people you won't know. There's a lot of it's a particular crowd, isn't it?
And that's what I'm looking forward to. That you know, I want to meet those people.
It's not all good. I mean, I'm not saying it's all good, and it's not by a stretch. There's some stuff there you think.
You're saying I'm going to get in a fight? Is that what you're saying?
I want you to get a fight. There's a lot of stuff that you'll walk around and you'll think, oh no, you know, and there's some that you'll discover a gem that you've never seen before.
Yeah.
But it is a whole different. There's a lot more. I'm going to say there's a lot more sort of people who started in webcomics. Is that a good thing? Yeah. Is that right, Millman? Do you think?
I think it's just a wider range of people. Yeah. There's people who only do MCMs.
Yeah,
don't do anything else. Just because MCM, you know, if you're going to do a convention that's worth it in terms of audience base and money, MCM is the one to do. So you tend to get a wider range. But I will say that they've become a lot stricter in terms of their curation. So at least in the past couple of conventions, I've noticed that there are less people who are like completely green and turning up with like, you know, just a few prints and a sketchbook. There are less people doing that now. It tends to be people who are a bit more established. And also clamping down on fan art as well. You know, there's a lot less of that.
Yeah, we hear all the time about that. Yeah.
You know, I found but this year apparently is the year they're clamping down on fan art a lot.
Do you know what they are? They do create quite well. I remember going to one. This is probably about 6 or 7 years ago, and they had some particularly dodgy hentai. For those that don't know what hentai is, it's sexualized manga, isn't it? I think is that
yes, pretty much.
And I said to the geezer, I said, "This ain't right, mate." And he had it displayed behind the table, in like posters. And I said, "Mate, I said there's kids here." And he said, "Yeah, but we've come over to the States. We've got a license to sell this stuff over here." And I said, "Right." So I went and found someone and said, "Dude, you got to get rid of that." And they threw them out.
Yeah.
For that.
There you go.
Quite right too.
Yeah.
Because there were some images there that were borderline age group. Do you know what I mean? If you see what I'm saying. And they threw them out, and I was quite impressed with them for that.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
I would have thought they'd have given them you can take this down. Perhaps they got a bit shirty about it. But...
No, they'd already warned them. Yeah, because they gave me a backup email because I emailed them about it as well later to say thanks, and they gave me a backup email to say no, he'd already been warned. So
that's the big thing. If you ever get warned by MCM to take things down, take it down, because you know, some people, they are like yeah, and they make a show of taking it down and then they put it back up when their backs are turned. Like, management, take note of who you are. The next time you apply, you will have trouble getting in. You know, especially when it comes to fan art. When it comes to, now they're clamping down as well on things that are like merchandise that's not related. So if you're selling things like candles, like fudge, you know, like
fudge. Oh, dudes, we've got to do some fudge.
Even just, we got those fudge candles, guys. What are we going to do?
Oh my God.
To be fair, I prefer that because I want to go around and see comics and comic related stuff. I don't want to go around and see a load of old fucking tat.
Yeah. I think a lot of people naively think that MCM is so big that they're not going to be looking for stuff.
A
lot of people got caught out at Birmingham because they have got away with it in the past.
Yeah.
So they were like, I was talking to one person who was like, well, I've always sold this and I've never got into trouble. And it's like, yeah, because you've slipped through the net. It's always been against the rules. You've just never been found out. You know, so yeah, a lot of people, they think because they haven't been told off so far, it's fine. And it's not. It's just because it's so hard to police. Yeah. You know, there's so many tables. It's really hard to police. And as well, if you're selling fan art, the people policing it are not going to recognize what these things are a lot of the time. Like, there's so many random anime crap. Like,
in regards to fan art, we're talking about like prints there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's basically fan works. So I think the thing is, they're not quibbling now. It's not a case. It's not a case. It's not a case of fair use and that kind of thing. It's like, if you are using anything that's licensed, don't risk it. Don't risk it. Like, even if you think it might be a case of fair use, if you think it's parody, I wouldn't risk it. It's just because the tables at in Comic Village are subsidized. And MCM, as far as I believe, I may be wrong on this, and feel free to call me out on my bullshit, but I'm fairly certain that they take a lot of the legal risk for us, and that's why we can have subsidized tables. So, and they have,
so the insurance side of things, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. So, and I know that last year they had trading standards go around, and they don't want to. Like,
I mean, that's the stuff. I bet they have like FACT, the old Federation Against Copyright Theft. I bet they go round. Because people were selling bootleg, Smallville DVDs or something, and all that sort of thing. Yeah.
They'd have a fucking field day that Sunday Comic Con one.
Oh, the Sunday Mart. There's about 3 stalls in there, aren't there, just selling that stuff. Yeah.
No. Because I know
they're not heard of the internet.
A big problem at MCM, I think, are like fake Pokemon plushies, like licensed merch, but I know fan art is under a microscope now as well.
Yeah, and it has been for quite a few years, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
I mean, I think most of the people that listen to this show, if you're exhibiting there, you're going to have your comics anyway. Do you know what I mean? I think, and it's all about the comics with all of us, but. It's just handy to think about these things, because some people do take the piss, don't they? Some people really do try.
It's quite it's quite a bit of a thorny subject as well, because I know a lot of some of my friends have licenses to sell stuff. Yeah. So a couple of my friends sell Critical Role prints, that kind of thing, and they have permission, and they have written permission. So like, if you are a licensed creator for a certain brand, make sure you take your proof with you. So if you've got an email from someone saying yes, you can sell this particular print, take that with you, or email the organizers in advance to say, I will have fan art on my table, but I am a licensed creator for this.
Fair enough.
Just so that there are people who walk around and say, hey, so-and-so is allowed to sell this Star Wars print. Why are they allowed to do it and I'm not? And it's so that you don't get into these arguments on the day. Like, if you have a license, let everybody know that you do.
And I have to say, if you are listening to this and you are intending to sell Star Wars prints and you don't have a license, you ain't getting one by Friday. I've got to tell you.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, exactly.
So we put the shout out, and we had a couple of our listeners and like followers and stuff give us some tips. So I'm just going to run through some of them now, and we'll probably talk about them as well. Dead Star Publishing, they say, bring water. If you think you've got enough, you haven't.
Right.
I guess staying hydrated is quite important, isn't it? Because getting drinks and stuff. I know we've talked about this, haven't we, Dan? About supplies and things. You don't want to be running off all the time to try and... Especially
if you want to go to like the concession stands, it's like you're queuing there for about 15-20 minutes. I've done that.
Yeah, it's a mess out of the front, isn't
it? Yeah. My dude, no, MCM, you'll be queuing for 40 minutes. And obviously, it is terrible. Honestly, you cannot cross the convention floor in less than about 40 minutes. So at MCM, it's like that times 1,000. If you want to get supplies at the show, like, make sure that you've got a table buddy watching your table, or just because you'll be gone a really long time. Try and take as many supplies as you can. And also, a lot of the concessions outside are not very nice. So in the Excel Center itself, there's like a burger place. There's a couple of places that are outside the show that are in the main hall. Not very nice. If you're gonna get food, at the show, they have like yakisoba and the Japanese food stands. If you like Japanese food, go there. The queues are massive though. Make sure you go early. Those are my tips for food.
Yeah,
we're thinking Gruffalo lunchbox, aren't we, Vince?
Always the Gruffalo lunchbox. Always.
Classy.
But that ties into Matt Garvey, who said, never leave your table. That way you won't get squished. Is it really... I mean, even in like the Comics Village, the traffic going between those aisles, Is it pretty? You know, it's pretty hardcore.
Not in Comic Village. No, not so much in Comic Village. It's bearable. Yeah.
I wouldn't. This is sorry. I know I've been like blah, 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 this whole
that's
time.
That's why we brought you here, dude.
That's why you're here.
But I would say that like. I know I used to panic a bit because people say, oh, MCM, it's the huge seller, you'll be really busy. Because I've found on like Fridays and Saturday mornings, sometimes it is dead, like really quiet. And you think, oh shit, I've put so much time into this convention, I'm not going to make my money back. No, there will be times when you cannot move. Even in Comic Village, it gets really crowded. Last October, especially because Critical Role last October just completely changed the game for MCM. If it's like that again, Jesus Christ.
Can I just ask what Critical Role is?
Yeah, I was going to say, I have no clue what that is.
Critical Role is a Dungeons and Dragons podcast that's played by and run by voice actors, and it's just been this huge phenomenon. It's basically like the same game that has been running for, well, they're on their new game now, but they've been running for a good like 5-6 years now. And so people are really invested in those characters, and it's like an actual play podcast as well. Oh, and it's sorry, I say podcast, it's streamed. So it's like, if you know voice actors, it's like Matthew Mercer runs it. So yeah, and it's got this massive fandom, and they were there at October, and it just was it was insane. And if you had anything fantasy related, it just blew up. It was just,
I see so much especially on Instagram, so much fan art, or like even the professional artists just doing Critical Role characters and this and that. I see so much of it.
Because you know,
that's
and
kind of first I've heard of it.
Yeah, me. I'm not really in that scene. I don't really understand the whole Dungeon Master thing. I don't. It means something different to me from the 80s. You know what I mean?
I think you're Joseph Fritzl.
Oh God!
Oh Jesus!
I just got a dark joke in there.
I should go there. This is such a wholesome thing.
Yeah. Dan throws a hand
grenade.
grenade in. Dan just shouts perverts and runs off. Throws a hand grenade. Here we go.
Why I expected anything less of you guys.
Thank you. You know us so well. Oh, speaking of which, where's your sidekick? Where's Sian? Is she not going to be there?
She's next door. She's right next to me.
Oh, good. Phew. Yeah. I was worried. Yeah, because I want to bring over some more of Dan's business cards so we can chuckle about them.
Yes, definitely. Please do. I would like to. I want to.
I would say, looking at the guests, there's quite a few people. I thought I know quite a few people in the small press world. I know of the comics, and then I looked through the list of people who's going to be there, and so I've not heard of like 2/3 of these.
I love that though. I love that. I love that. I love discovering new artists and stuff.
Did you go on the MCM website for that? Yeah, they haven't updated it, so it seems like, because I was scrolling through just then, I was like, oh, I submitted my stuff and it's not on there. So I think
Nobro went on there as well. We were worried about that. Yeah. They rang me the other day. I got a phone call from MCM, just saying everything all right. Like, how's it going? I'm like, yeah, fine. So you all ready for? I said, yeah. It was quite good. And I actually had a couple of questions for them, so just out of the blue, my phone rang, and yeah, that's a bit strange.
Great.
They got a couple of,
we spent a few quid, so I think we deserve a phone call at least. Yeah.
Yeah, dealers' tables are just.
They're stupid money. If you think I'm going to step up from Comics Village to a dealer's table, be prepared to remortgage your house. Let's just put it that way.
Also, you have to get on the list. It's really hard. So you have to it's for people who were on it last year get preferential treatment in terms of booking tables. So the first year you're trying to get a dealer's table is really hard. I've never tried it myself, but some of my friends have, and it's just.
I think John Locke and the Big Punch Studios are in the dealers bit, aren't they?
No, I think
they're
have done
Village.
it. They're in Comic Village, but they have done it before.
They've double tabled those where they've done it before. They managed to get 2 tables, I think, when I saw them once.
Yeah, because they were opposite me, I think, in October. So yeah.
Blimey. Right, another tip. This time from Lyndon White. He says MCM specific. A. Bring plenty of water and liquids. I once spent 40 minutes queuing for bottles of water. We've covered that one. B, and I think this is equally...
It could have died in that time.
Equally important. Go to the toilets at the back of the hall, up the stairs. They are cleaner and won't be as busy. You'll save time walking there than trying to navigate to the main hall.
Right. That does.
That's another pro tip.
Well, the thing is, these are unofficial toilets. that are sometimes open and are sometimes not. So I think
unofficial toilets. Was it like a
yeah,
wee?
unofficial. Yeah.
got a password.
Yeah, it's right at the back of the hall, and I've been told off by security going through those doors, and had to be like, "I'm a dealer. Don't you know who I am?" and pull that shit to try and get through. But you are like dodging security trying to get through those ones. But usually it will pass along the whole convention over where are the best toilets to go.
Right.
Yeah, and I would plan your toilet breaks accordingly.
I find that not drinking from about 4 days beforehand,
that's
so the insides of your body wither up and dry.
God, and it's just
is
going to
the
come
best
out
way
like
then.
toffee.
like a petrified jellyfish on the beach.
Oh, God.
Me and Via got the 2-litre bottles of Sunny D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we're going to empty and then fill, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
2 litres of
Make
Sunny
sure
D would
you
kill
Let's
you,
invite
Dan.
Milmo on the show and just talk
I wouldn't
about
drink it.
bottles.
Make sure that you label the ones that you've weed in already quite clearly.
Yeah.
You know.
Mind you,
the
mind you,
different
if
Sunny D.
your
I'll
wee looks like Sunny D, you need to see a doctor.
Well, if you've drunk like 2 litres of Sunny D, I'm already a bit worried for you.
Well, you'd probably be dead.
You're already glowing in the dark.
You know, you don't have to refrigerate Sunny D.
You don't have to drink it either.
Where do you get this shit from? He always comes up with something.
Because I remember being in the supermarket and had a lot of stack of it, and I thought, don't you have to have that refrigerated? He went, no, there's nothing fresh in it. I was like, okay. That's a fact, fat fans.
Thank you.
Facts,
Dan,
only facts.
we need a Dan Facts section of the show coming
Yeah.
up soon, don't we?
Yeah. Anyway, right, okay. John Late, he says, stay calm, make sandwiches, don't stare too much at the cosplayers, make friends with table neighbours, even though they may be scary or stabby looking. Don't be tempted to buy anything outside the comic village unless you've remortgaged and have a prenup.
Prenup.
All sound advice.
Yeah, so beyond Comics Village, it's pretty pricey then, I'm guessing.
Well, I usually if I want to buy something outside of Comic Village, I usually make a list of exactly what I want. I always go to, there's this, the one, my one, like, indulgence is there's a store called Geeky Clean, and I always go there because they have bath bombs that have, Dungeons and Dragons thing, they have D20s. The table, they have dice in them.
20-sided
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, really great. 20-sided die, and they have those in them, and that's pretty great. So that's the only thing I really spend money on.
Because V, you were going to get some bath bombs, weren't you? For my house.
love a bath bomb.
Yeah.
No, I hate a bath
You do,
bomb.
okay.
But I tell you what, though,
you and Sharknado can sit in the bathroom and you could have a bath bomb. You can sit there watching you.
well, that's true. I tell you what, if MCM's got a Yankee candle stall, I'll be there all day.
The only thing I want is like coffees.
Huh?
Going out for teas and coffees. That's the main issue.
So there is 2 Costa coffees there. They are terrible at making tea. They always just put the bag in, put the hot water in, and then put the milk in directly after, and my soul dies every time they do it. You can also go to like Délices de France. They do like teas.
I'm going to take that bit of audio every time I get a message. It's just going to say that.
But
that was actually a little bit scary.
Like in the morning when you get there, Costa Coffee will have the most ridiculous fucking queue, and you will want to die because you've just got to MCM and realize the full scope of what you're going to have to deal with that day. But if you look around to all the shops, that there are like places like Subway, the French place that I've just mentioned and I'm not going to mention again, like that will also do like coffees and teas. If you don't want anything that's too specific, try going there as well because they'll do stuff.
Okay. Kate Draws Comics. She says, attendees, bring cash. There's ATMs, but the lines are crazy. Conversely, exhibitors, get a card machine.
100%.
Okay.
The cash points as well run out of cash.
Yeah.
They usually run out of cash about halfway through Saturday.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be that person who stood in line for like 40 minutes to get cash only for there not to be any in the
It
machine.
sucks.
Yeah, pretty sucks. And also, card readers are so cheap now. You can get I've got I don't know what you guys have. I have an iZettle, and it's just so easy. And it's worth it. I think last time I took a good chunk of my money off
Yeah, we
I
took a fair bit at Troobs with the. I mean, we've got a PayPal machine. I mean, someone even paid with their watch, which blew my.
Yeah, I know.
The world's gone crazy.
We live in the future.
Yeah.
And also, have you ever had someone had to sign on your phone? So they have to. So if you get someone who's a foreigner, a dirty foreigner using a foreign card in our great British Isles, they scan it through and they have to sign with their finger on your phone.
Okay.
So, the you know.
Was that their limousine?
Was that someone's guts?
You know, the someone on a Harley going past. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You still in the gang, Milmo? Are you still in that gang?
I don't see them so much anymore. I've kind of been indoors making comics for the past 3 years of my life.
You were just too violent for them.
Oh no, yeah. We had to get rid of Milmo. She was a bit stabby.
More than Milmo.
God. I go for the shins. I'm too short.
Yeah. Right, here's one that I might get you see what you think of this. Hopefully I said the name right. Is it Asher Wheatley? Is that what it is, Tony?
Yeah.
Is it Asa?
Is it Asa?
ASA?
Asa Wheatley.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Apologies for mucking that up.
They've just done Sprouting Tales of the Curious, right? They've just done a Kickstarter.
That's right.
Yeah.
Really excited for that one.
Talks about food, but also says, also try to take advantage of the free drink samples that are sometimes about. The people handing out samples won't remember if you've already been, and it's a good sugar boost.
That's actually not bad a shout. But you just be careful about taking things off strangers that you ingest.
Yeah.
I've come a cropper a couple of times. I'll tell you that now. Yeah.
Don't buy the drinks actually on the show floor, because you'll be stuck buying like bubble tea or ramen, and they are just complete wastes of money. Don't do that. I bought bubble tea a couple of years back and wanted to cry.
Yeah. What is bubble tea? I don't even know what it is.
Basically, it's like
shit.
It's shit. Yeah, it's shit. That's all I'm gonna say. No, do you remember, like, back in the 90s, there were these things, and they were like, you put them in your bath, and they were like these little pellets. It was like, they were like bath beads. They were like these plastic little beads you put in. Yeah, they kind of remind me of those. And basically what it is it's just like, it's tea, like cold tea, with these little balls in them, and it's usually tapioca.
I'm not drinking this tea. I'm not drinking this tea. It's got balls in.
And
who invents this stuff, Milmo? What's happening to the world?
I think it's Korean.
Who has tapioca tea? I didn't even like it when I was at school.
What the hell? And it was on a really low point at MCM, and I just wanted to cry.
Yeah. Oh,
great time.
When you say it made you, were you going to say give you the shits, or was it something?
It made me cry. I was going to say.
Cry. Sorry, that's worse.
To be fair, Vince put up something about like not accepting bad tea in your life. You don't need those kind of people, and getting a bad cup is just like a slap in the face.
And there's nothing like
the entirety of the Costa chain can just go jump in the sea.
Yeah.
But there's for me, the greatest betrayal in life is when you make a terrible one for yourself. It's just
teapot. Use a teapot. I'm a great believer in teapots.
Do you take a teapot everywhere with you, Tony?
Sometimes.
Tony's a little teapot.
It's pretty hard to fuck up a cup of coffee, but a tea, I know exactly what you mean with the Costas. It's like, there you go, hot water. There's a tea bag.
Then you burn your fingers pulling the bag out.
Why is they betray you, and they pour the milk in, and then looking at you, and you're just like, who are you? You're a monster.
I blame Brexit. I blame Brexit for the tea situation.
Oh dear. Anyway, from that controversial topic to the next one. David Malofsky of A Place to Hang Your Cape, he says, and I think this is very important as well, he always recommends hand sanitizer for MCM. You shake so many hands that conflu feels inevitable, so even though you look like a germaphobe, use hand sanitizer regularly. This goes for punters and exhibitors.
Right. What's this stupid thing, conflu? I'm sick of this. People go, I've got conflu. It's not a real thing. You just feel tired. People go, I've got conflu. You've either got a cold, or you've got flu, or you're just tired.
But it's essentially, it's like when you're sitting in an office and the aircon, like some bastard comes in and they've got a cold, and you're like, oh no, it's only inevitable because the aircon will spin it around the office. And if there's 130,000 people, I'll French kiss anyone. But I mean, there's 130,000 people for me to French kiss.
You give it a go.
It's a challenge.
There's a ringtone for you, Milmo.
Oh my god.
No, but with that many people, there's going to be lots of people there that probably won't be very well.
Honestly, Tony, you may not believe in Conflu, but Conflu believes in you. You will get it. If you don't believe in it, you will get it. It's it's freshest flu. It's just freshest flu, basically.
But it's not a medical thing. I've been to hundreds of conventions, and I see all these creators, mostly professional creators, to be fair, and they go, "Yeah, I'm having trouble working today because I've got Conflu." I feel like screaming at them, saying, "Yeah, I go to work, 6 hours after getting off the plane, and oh no, Conflu," and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
To be fair, Tony, you're made of hardy stock.
Yes,
that's true.
Yeah. It's like you just made out of corned beef and iron. That's what you're made out of.
When you say I'm just going to go for a 9-hour drive today, it's like, fuck me, you just done a con all day. So,
I know, that was bad. That was a particularly bad day, you have to say.
Yeah. He just falls asleep in the toilets.
No, apologies, I just wanted to have a little rant about that. I'll agree with you, Milmo. People do feel a bit sick after conventions. It's just no reason not to work.
Yeah.
That's the
All right, Theresa May. Jesus Christ. Get back to it. Get back up that chimney.
Yeah, Riptide Esmond MD. That's my name now.
Oh, God.
Jesus. God. No.
I've never had a sick day off. I've never had a sick day ever off work ever, and I'm 63 years old. And I just get a little sick of professionals. Go, I've got the sniffles. Do the comic. I'm buying it.
You've never had it properly, then.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that, mate?
Have you never had a cold that is, or I say the flu, that has just completely put you off your feet completely? Because if you haven't, you've never had the flu.
Yeah. Just take annual leave. That's how it works.
Oh, well, there you go. So you have had sick days then.
Yeah.
Like what?
As we said, I was begrudging. I wasn't taking any sick off for years and years, and everyone else was fucking having days and weeks off. And I thought, I'm mugging myself off here. You don't get any special. I'm not getting any special perks for not having a sick day. I'm having one.
When I got rushed into hospital.
How the man gets you down. If they give you sick days, take your sick days.
When I got rushed into hospital a couple of years ago, I took annual for that because I didn't want to ruin my record.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. God, if you got an unbroken run there.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. On this controversial topic, send your emails to awesomecomicspod@gmail.com and I'll forward them to Tony. Right, okay.
I will personally come around and examine you.
Oh my God.
That's enough to get me in.
So make sure you have a card reader.
All I can hear is Milmo in the background going, go and have a lie down.
You should not feel bad about having a lie down. You really should.
No.
I mean, the thing is, getting issue 6 ready.
Yeah.
I'm not even telling the lie. I worked 12 hours straight to get that done.
Bloody hell.
So, that was just one day. So it's like, if you need to lie down, go and lie down. Fuck's sake.
As long as
no one's winning any prizes.
Put your feet in the air. That's the way it works.
Not winning any prizes.
But remember, as long as you're not driving.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
With those crunch deadlines, I realised...
Or anywhere near Vince. Don't lie down and have a sleep next to him.
I'm too lazy to do those crunch deadlines. I've got to plan it out so I don't have any of those mad rushes. I fucking hate doing that. But like I said, sometimes it's got to be done.
Yeah.
It's got to be done.
Yeah, and I just think, well, I could just stop now, but then there's so much more I want to do. So.
Right, okay. Rick Jackson, our old pal Rick Jackson, he said, actively remember you're in an air-conditioned windowless hangar for 3 days. If you can, leave the building once a day to experience natural elements for mental and physical well-being.
He's become like my guru now. I've decided I want Rick as the guru. Yeah. So every day he'll come to me and say, Tony, let's stretch. Yeah. We can go to that. So, we do some stretching exercises and stuff outside.
It's like the little book of calm from Black Books.
Oh, God, yeah.
Eat an orange.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, that's true. Go outside.
Yeah.
Get some...
At Bad Food Comic says, bring a spare battery for any electronics you might have.
Very true.
We have an Amazon tablet to give folks to share our newsletter. So I guess, they've got to make sure that that's charged all the time.
Yeah, I've got a couple of those sort of mobile extra charger things I've always got in my rucksack.
Yeah, power bank is great.
Yeah. Because these card machines need charging as well, don't they? That's the thing. They do need charging. So
definitely, and you don't want to get caught short. It's really, there's nothing worse than getting to the end of the day and someone being like, I want to buy everything, everything from your table, please, but I only have a card.
And the thing is, using Tinder, I don't know about this, using Tinder does drain the battery quite heavily, doesn't it, at your table?
Why me?
I don't know. I didn't know where to go with that one. I thought Milmo would be insulted and Dan will hit me. So I went with you. That was,
I'm not insulted. I'm just weary. Just disappointed.
Okay, last one. Zach Cobb, he says, advice for exhibitors that I was taught on my uni course: build up your social network while running your stalls. For me, MCM has been a great place to meet people and build up your contacts list. Someone you might meet might want to work with you on a future project.
that's true.
That's pretty standard across the board with all the cons as well, though, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
One thing
We've got a nice little email. I'll tell you about it later, boys. I'm very excited by it. Which is for that reason. Yeah.
One thing I would say is that even if that's in the back of your mind, don't make that the thing that you lead with. Mainly because, I've been to Thought Bubble before, and I'm not going to say who it was, and I don't think I've seen him at a convention since, but there was just this guy who I came over to the table, and I was obviously an exhibitor and obviously knackered, and he came over and I went over and he was like, hey, here's my comic, put it in your hands, and this is what I do, and I'm also available for this, and I instantly just shut off. I was like, if you're going to talk to people, talk to them like human beings first, and don't see them as just a paycheck.
I hate the hard sell as well, Milmo. Yeah. I just despise it. Nothing puts me off more than that. And that thing you say about putting that, we talked about it last week, putting that comic in someone's hand winds me up. I hate that hard sell. Chat to people, be friendly. If you want to work with you're an artist or a writer, shopping their skills around the convention, they're going to like you. They want to like you first before they work with you,
Mm-hmm. And I've weirdly, have you had this? People have thought that I'm like an employer, and I'm just there is no way in hell that I can ever, I occasionally get commissions. I can barely pay myself. So, I've
been experiencing that quite a lot recently. Yeah.
I'd imagine it is the sort of show where it must be quite difficult, because we've all had those conversations when people that want to make comics or whatever come up and chat and stuff, and they can be quite long conversations. Now, normally, maybe a smaller convention, you've got more time for these people, but at MCM, you do have less time per person that comes to your table.
I think we should be running a kind of a zero tolerance on that one. V.
What do you mean? Just hitting them?
No, just
I told you we just swipe them out of the way like you would with your iPad. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
I hate to be dark, but
go there.
This is the first convention that me and my table neighbor are going to be doing security measures behind our table. So we're going to do a warning light system and have secret cat phrases, basically. So it's really, if you ever feel unsafe, it's good and you've got a table buddy with you, it's good to have a word or a phrase to say that isn't oh my god, I think this person's going to stalk me when I leave. You know what I mean? It's need when I worked in shops, we had this one where it was oh, I need a red pen. And that usually meant get security. So if you have something like that, it's usually quite good. We're going to use a traffic light system as well.
So. And not being sexist at all, Milman, but that is more applicable to the female people, honestly, I would say. Yeah.
I would be careful as well, because you never know.
I would. When you see me, people sort of seek me out. They're not made of stone, are they?
The thing is, and it's not just that thing, but it's not just that thing as well that you feel like you're physically unsafe. It can be someone who is just really making you uncomfortable, saying something that you really find unpleasant, saying things that you find unsavory, and you just don't want that person in your face anymore. To have someone come over and say, hey, I think we have a problem with our hotel, do you want to come over here, and just basically get you out of that situation, is always good, just to have some kind of
I think
a security net.
I think that's useful. I like the people who listen to this, and they are in the most part generally quite sensible. And I think if you see someone who is having a problem, then I think that's a good way of dealing with it. Not like, mate, fuck off, or I'm going to hit you. It's Milmo, have you got a second? I want to show you this bit of artwork I talked to you about earlier, or something. Something like that is very useful to use, isn't it? And I think even if something when you're stuck talking to someone, and you just want to get rid of them, and I do laugh when Vince gets gets hooked by someone for an hour.
Too nice.
But there is, I think, it's a useful thing to have sort of set up with your friends.
Dan, I just want you to know that my safety word is going to be wombles. So if you hear me say wombles...
wombles.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the wombles? I get that into a sentence.
Don't worry,
the other day. brain. It was like, how do you get the safety word into a sentence?
Are you going to one of those ecclesiastical services, Vince? Use ecclesiastical.
I can't even say that word.
A little callback to the movie Running Scared there for you. There you go.
It's a bit of an aside, but there's a webcomic called Ava's Demon. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. They're talking about getting stalked to the creator of that, Michelle. She's got a Canadian or an American surname, which is just impossible.
Gavin show, is it? Or is that somebody else?
It's because it might be. It could well be that. But essentially, she posted up something during the week where, because she hadn't shipped two of her characters together in the comic to the satisfaction of one fan, this fan just, it's unbelievable the lengths they went to just to kind of bring so much misery into her life. Really? And it's just one of those things. You just, my God, that people like this are capable of doing stuff. And I'm talking about like editing her photos of stuff she had drawn to make it seem like really illegal, dodgy content, and then sending it out. Just, and then they got a message back from them recently that because they'd done something with the characters that they liked, saying, "Oh yeah, I did this, I did that." Not a word of sorry, just saying, "Oh, that was me, and I did that." And it was like, where the fuck are these people from? So that kind of warning about people being careful, I think, it's definitely prudent advice.
Yeah, I mean, we like to think well of people and comic conventions, but there will be some weirdos at MCM. There's no two ways about it, you know. But if you just go by the amount of numbers of people that are there, some of them are going to be pretty weird.
Yeah.
But don't worry, you can buy our comics. What?
Yeah, but please, if you've got a few quid, just don't spend too long talking to Vince because he'll say wombles.
Don't worry, Vince. I got a couple of boys with me. You got a bit of a temper.
You got a couple of what?
A couple of boys coming along. Des and Troy at the left hand and the right hand.
I would literally buy popcorn and watch you two having a roll around with a fan. Just, you know.
Excuse me?
Not like that. Oh, well, I would as well. No, that would be worth paying for. But then, you know, if someone says, "Oh, Predator's a bit shit," next, you know, Vince has given him a
You
right
fucking what? Who's going to say that?
Yeah.
Who said that, Tony?
I gotta say, I do always like somebody you mentioned earlier, like I always feel amazed by people who can just be like, right, step off, you're done now, when somebody's at their table. I can't remember who I was talking to, but they were saying like, oh yeah, if somebody annoys me, I just tell them to leave. Like, how do you do that? Yeah. I can't. It's so, you have to be so confrontational with some people.
Pinned on the horns of social niceties.
Yeah.
I ignore those all the time. But I think there's something to say. Look, geezer, probably not for you, mate.
Yeah.
You know, there's a way of doing it, isn't there? You know.
Like James McCullough. So, what are you going to buy today then?
Yeah. I think sometimes if you say, look, guys, I'm here to make. You know, I have to pay back for my trip and table, and you know, if you're not going to buy anything, you know, let me know because. Yeah, you know, there's a way of doing it, I think, isn't there? You know, it depends on the person sometimes, isn't it? I think, you know, let's face it. Some people, the other subject here is there's going to be a little bit of a pen and ink in the air at these things, isn't there? You know, bring something to spray in the air sometimes after some people have left.
That's stink for anyone who doesn't understand Tony's language.
Okay, yeah. There is a BO problem often at these things. I think the nature of. I'm not lying, Momo. You know there is sometimes.
Yeah.
That's just the exhibits.
I think you are right though. I think because I table by myself, you know, and I think that is a big safety issue as well. And I think all of that stuff about making friends with the people around you, like making sure to take breaks, it counts double if you are by yourself because you just, and in terms of being safe as well, like honestly, there is nothing on your table that is worth more than your safety. So if you ever feel that like, if something is just not worth you staying there, just get away. Like,
I think what happens as well is it's good to just pop over and say hello to people.
Yeah.
We all do it at other conventions, don't we? So I probably will pop over and say, "Oh, Milmo, you're right," you know. And that, knowing that someone's going to, I'll say, "Oh, I'll pop over at lunchtime," and you know someone's coming over. If someone's like hanging about, you know, we're all each other's safety blanket to that respect, aren't we? You know.
Yeah. So there you go. There was so many hints and tips. We've all been making note of those because
Vince will have a blade with him. So if you need anyone.
Standard.
No, my weapon of mass destruction is called Daniel Butcher. So don't mess with me.
Derek and Troy.
Derek.
I've got those like metal, the display stands, those grids that you build.
Yeah.
I've got those for you guys have seen them before, but this is the first time I'm going to have them at MCM now.
Everyone knows you're lethal, though. That's the thing, Milmo. Yeah. Everyone knows you are lethal, aren't you? Yeah. You're like a ninja.
That's why they kicked you out of that biker gang.
Try.
Yeah.
It's too dangerous.
Yeah. Be careful, folks. She goes for the knees. Anyway,
Jefferson,
the shins, that's all I can reach.
Jefferson carries weapons. You've got to look at Jefferson and know she's tall.
Sean is the muscle in our partnership.
She's like the Ray Winston of your group, isn't she?
Yeah. Sometimes she looms behind my table and it's like, it's time for you to leave.
Yeah.
So,
God, that's terrifying.
Never play snooker with her.
Yeah.
Place to win.
But we are all hugely looking forward to MCM.
Yes.
And, we've been doing the show for a few years now. Milmo's obviously been doing the show for, the actual convention itself for many years. But, it's going to be great. We're looking forward to it. We're going to... next week is going to be an unconventional sort of recording because we're just going to... I think probably when we're sat down just recovering on a Saturday night, we're going to record a little something. So next week's show might not be as long as the usual ones. We'll probably be going, oh, God...
Those really depressed ones.
Yeah.
Being that Loki grown out of Avengers.
Yeah, so that's what it'll be next week. But, if you're going to MCM, then please drop by, check out the Comics Village, check out all the people there, drop by and see us and Milmo. What are you going to have at the show this time?
Oh, well, I think I messaged you. When you messaged me about this podcast, I messaged you being like, well, hopefully I'll have this stuff, but I don't know. It depends if it arrives. So I recently did a Kickstarter for the 6th issue of my comic. I'm going to have those. And also all the previous issues. I've got new prints. I've got new merch. I've got stickers. So, I've got tons of stuff, but it all just depends. I'm on tenterhooks at the moment, waiting to see if it arrives in time. Should do, hopefully. Oh. But so I'll have issue 6 of NPC Tea will be debuting at MCM London.
And just give Nobrow a pimp. We'll have a few deals on a few things. So if you pop by the table, I think there's a deal on the Hilda books. I saw the new Hilda book the other day, looking amazing. So catch up while you can. And like I say, we'll have the dolls. We'll have a load of free postcards and bookmarks and stickers and Hilda stuff like that. So it's gonna be. If you're into Nobrow, then you'll get some stuff at a good deal, I think, because I don't want to drive it all the way back to London Sunday night.
Yeah. Well, we're hopefully
that is the worst.
Yeah, we're hopefully gonna go home with suitcases a little lighter than when we arrive. Hopefully,
so,
and
they'll be heavier because we'll have bought a load of stuff.
Probably. Yeah, didn't think about that. But the Awesome Pod table, like I say, me and Dan are going to be there. We're going to have all 4 issues of the Awesome comics, which you can buy in a bundle. We're hoping to shift quite a few bundles. Hopefully. Hopefully. Yes. You get if you buy a bundle, you get a badge and you get a poster. So it's all good. And Dan's going to be sketching on the day as well.
You are as well.
Yeah, you
are.
Yeah, I think I'm going to bite the bullet and actually do some sort of on the day commissions and stuff. We'll do shift work, won't we, Dan? We'll just tag in and out. Yeah, and there's going to be other goodies on the table. So definitely drop by. So where are you located, Milmo? What table are you on?
Oh, I was just about to ask you the same question. Oh. I am CV175. So looking at the map, I am by the door. I think I'm by N2. So I'm by that. So CV175. What about you guys?
Brilliant. I don't have a map handy, so you can tell me where we are. We are, and prepare to laugh, folks. We are on CV. What number are we on, Dan?
69.
Yep.
Hey! You guys are by N1.
Nice.
Yeah, you're by N1. So,
nice. So,
near the travelling man table.
Oh, okay. Oh, they're there, are they? Good.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, so go forth, and Tony will be, you're just out in the wild, aren't you? Roaming the Serengeti.
Just look for anyone who's looking like a sort of weird hobo, sort of dribbling and screaming.
Yeah.
That'll be me.
I think there'll be quite a few of those, so you might have to be a bit more specific.
That's true. I'll be the only one who's not in Alice in Wonderland dresses or something. I'll wear that bloody thing.
Well, there was that one time you wore that, Tony.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Looks all right. I've got the legs for it.
It does. It's the rest of him that terrifies me. Anyway, so we hope to see you there. So stay tuned next week, and thank you very much for all those tips. Remember, that was fantastic.
Great, mate.
This week. Yeah, the past 2 weeks have been great convention shows, so hopefully a lot of people got a lot of information. But she's sticking with us. We've got some recommendations in a bit and some shout-outs. Who wants to go first with the shout-outs?
So, yeah, I got a shout-out for Morgan's Organs, the Anatomically Incorrect Adventures. We've got Morgan's Organs Returns to Book 3 by Daniel Brody. Parts 1 and 2 are on Comic House, and we sort of all discovered them together, didn't we?
Yeah.
They're absolutely fantastic. It's brilliant. Such a great comic. And this one looks like Morgan's Organs got to deal with a night after Morgan's been out on the beers.
God.
And they can't remember what's happened, and the various organs have to deal with the day after. So that's knowing the first 2 books, this one sounds great. Yeah. So that's on Kickstarter now, and you've got 26 days to go as you listen to this.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, he's already made his total, so you're guaranteed the comic.
Nice. Yes. I've got a few shout-outs from Lawless. As I said, I was there yesterday in Bristol. So I just want to shout out to Sue and all the organisers on the day, and all those 2000 AD fans, which is you never see so many dreads in all your life, do you? When you do go to
there's loads there, aren't there? Yeah. That I see Max Normal was back again from Facebook. The bloke in the suit, he used that blue suit and bowler hat.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, right, yeah, I was wondering who that was. Yeah, is McAuliffe, always a pleasure. Chilling out with Liz. Big shout out to Tom Curry at this Chucklehead, who basically was my carer for the day and helped me out at the table. It was a good laugh. I was sat between Steve Sims and Dave Broughton. So many conversations. There was a huge conversation about Stan Sakai and Usagi Yojimbo, which meant I came home and then immediately put a lot of those books on my wish list.
Nice.
Yeah,
I love Stan Sakai. I love his stuff.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah. We need to have a talk about that on a future show. Damien Edwardson, bumped into him. He gifted me the strangest sort of duck soap intentionally. It was terrifying.
Oh, okay.
Barry.
Yes. Yeah, I've heard about this.
Yeah. Barry Renshaw. Have you heard of this creator?
No.
An artist. I'm not sure what he's done now, but he's at Art of Baz. He was there, and his table buddy was his daughter, Amy Renshaw, who is, I think, 12 years old, and she makes her own comics. And I picked up her comic, The Tales of Darcy Mill. And I tell you what, it was just awesome. Just seeing,
nice.
She was doing sketches for people on the day for like 50p and things like that. I got her to sign and sketch my book. They're going to be at Thought Bubble later in the year as well, so keep an eye out for them, because I think she sells out of all her comics straight away. They're just they're like little diary sort of comic book sort of stories, like a bit of prose, but really good stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, so thank you to everyone who dropped by the table, bought anything, and hopefully checked out the show. And stay tuned, because it's only going to get crazier from here. That's all I've got to say. So, from that to the recommendations. Who would like to go first? Who we have Milmo go first?
Go, Milmo.
Oh no. So I thought I'd recommend some people who are going to be at MCM this weekend.
That's
nice.
Firstly, I think everybody should check out Emily Owen and Gav Mitchell.
Yeah.
They're going to have Pup and Grumpy Corn. So they kickstarted it about a month back.
Cool, they've turned that around quickly, haven't they?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And it's going to be debuting at MCM. So it's an all ages romp. It's absolutely annoyingly good.
I've been waiting for this book for ages.
Yeah, but like Emily is so funny and Gav is just such a great artist, and it makes me really annoyed.
Yeah.
Like, in a good way. It's one of those
She's been
things
very
where...
wise. She's married wisely there.
Yeah. It's just it's one of those things that you know when you see people that making stuff and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, that's really good. No, it's really great. I really recommend you check it out. And also it's really great because I find it difficult trying to find family friendly stuff.
Yeah.
And that is family friendly. And also a little bit closer to home. I just want to shout out to Sian Jefferson as well. She's going to be debuting. This is the first convention that her comic Overlord is going to be at.
Which smashed the Kickstarter, didn't it? That one.
Yeah, she ran it. She did it. She did the Kickstarter last year for that, but it hasn't been to any conventions yet. So this is the first one you're going to be able to pick up a copy.
I think it was running during Thought Bubble, wasn't it? I remember her telling me about it during Thought. Yeah.
Yeah, she was promoting it during Thought Bubble. So yeah.
I highly recommend it. It's a fucking great book.
It's really good. It's amazing.
Really
so,
good.
And it's like a proper graphic novel as well. Instead of this long running shit where, just you buy one issue at a time, and you have to wait for the next.
Kind of weirdo would do that.
I know. What kind of idiot would do that? Like, it's a self-contained story. I mean, you don't have to wait until the next convention to get the next part of the story. So
if anyone wants to email us, they can email awesomecomicspod@gmail.com, and I'll forward them to Sarah.
Sarah, where's the end, Sarah? But I highly recommend both of those comics. They are both bloody brilliant.
Yes.
There you go.
Awesome. Who wants to go next?
I know you go, Ben. I'll go.
Me?
Yeah.
Who wants to go?
I'll go. Okay.
Hey!
I got sent a preview copy of Griff Gristle, issue 3, The Endless Voyage.
Oh, lucky you. I'm in there. Yeah. Oh, good.
Written by Rob Jones and Mike Sandbrook, art by Rory Donald, a.k.a. Reach Illustration. It's really good. It's really. I think I missed an issue. I got the first one, but not the second one.
Second one's great, man. Yeah.
Oh, nice. So Griff is a salty sea dog and a cult expert with a past shrouded in mystery. Griff has lost both his partner and his wife to battling the forces of the darkness. Madius themselves described this comic as like the third one being the end of the beginning. So it's kind of like a setup the end of the setup, so it's ready to kind of go forward in the series. And as you read it, you can kind of get that it sort of lays out all the kind of stuff that's going to kind of be built on this. The writing's great, and Rory's art is just, it goes from strength to strength after every project
really
he works on.
Yeah,
it's just every time it's like more accomplished.
I've got a theory about Rory, and this is I did a preview for is it Resurrection Men?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for the second issue of that. And it is like what they call an evergreen post. So it's now the third biggest post ever on my blog, which is multiple thousands of views. And every couple of weeks I get like a peak of like people looking at it again. I genuinely think with him, people from big companies are looking at him. That's what I think. That's where I think it's coming from.
Nice.
Because it's not like a detailed... like look at the comic, but there's a lot of artwork on there. Yeah, which he let me like preview, and I think he's the next one. I think somebody like 2000 AD or someone like that needs to grab hold of him because he's consistently good.
Yeah,
and he does a lot of work as well.
Yeah, it's one of those art styles that kind of that it gets better as there's less added to it. Do you know what I mean? It kind of it finds its strength and confidence that as every project Rory goes to. Kind of, it seems to kind of evolve more, and this one evolves more from after reading Resurrection Men too. Yeah. So it's great stuff.
He's the indie Mike Mignola. I think he's that.
I agree. Yeah. So the Kickstarter's got, when you listen to this, got 12 days to go. If you've ever backed anything by the Madius guys, you know they always kind of pull through. There's a whole slew of kind of rewards on there. I think you can get some T-shirts and stuff, and they know what they're doing. You back the Kickstarter, and you can't go far wrong. So check that one out. We'll put the link in the show notes.
Cool. Awesome. Do you want to go
next week? Yeah. So mine's a Kickstarter that I got through a couple of weeks ago called One Fall. Did anyone back this?
Oh no.
It's I only got the digital one because it's an American one, but it's written by David F. Walker, who's a Marvel writer and a few other things. Very good writer. I think he also lectures at that comics course in Portland. I think he's part of that. Art by Brett Weldell, who you'll know of when I mention it in a second what he's done. But it's got a backup feature sort of text piece by Ted Pirro, and it's published by Solid Comics. 35 pages, full colour. This is the summary. Professional wrestling is real. So are werewolves, vampires, and really greedy promoters who will stop at nothing to make a dollar. Jim, the Resurrector King, is a third-generation wrestler dealing with the curse of his family. Every time he is killed in the ring, he comes back to life.
Amazing.
So it's a supernatural... that's done. I backed it straight away off the back of that. So it's a supernatural, super violent wrestling story. Solid Comics was set up by David Walker as a small press publisher. He wanted to, rather than create stuff for Marvel, he wanted stuff that perhaps was a bit more niche, a bit more sort of close to his heart. And you can really see his enthusiasm for sort of the wrestling. The wrestler wears one of those Lucha Libre kind of masks. And you can really see everything's on the page there. It's got great little quotes, like real sort of grindhouse quotes, like eventually Rex's bloodlust will get the better of him. Just like real sort of grindhouse stuff. It's a first of a 5-issue miniseries, which I'm always interested with on Kickstarter. as we've talked about before, the drop off after issue 1 is no significant, So see how it does, but it definitely made its money. I mean, it almost made double, so that's pretty good. There's some really, really great characters, but what he does, he mixes in with the wrestling, this supernatural element, and also quite an interesting sort of social drama around the family. And has anyone seen the Mickey Rourke movie, The Wrestler?
Yeah.
He's kind of has to go back to wrestling because he's got to pay his bills and stuff like that. There's a little bit of that in it as well. The werewolf wrestler is called Lycanus Rex, and as I said, Brett Weldale's art. He was the artist on The Surrogates, which was it was a Bruce Willis movie as well. But it was. Did anyone read The Surrogates?
Yeah, I've got that book. Yeah.
Yeah, I've not really seen much of his, but this he's got a real. What he does, I'm not usually a big fan of sort of flare effects in comics. You get that sort of flare effect sometimes. It's sometimes overused, but what he does, he uses it as the lights above the ring, and it really works well on this one, I have to say. Real sort of kinetic, great fights. The text thing in the back is all about a historical fight between Hillbilly Humphrey and Jonathan King. It's like not the Jonathan King off British television. Not him.
That would be great.
Yeah, I'd read that. Yeah. There's some great prints. There's some pin-ups in the back, and Jim Marfood's done one as well, which is I wish I'd backed it to get the Jim Marfood print because it looks lovely. I love his stuff. If you go to davidfwalker.com, and you'll find a link on there to Solid SOLID -comics Solid Comics. Really good stuff. I'm really interested. I've absolutely loved the first one. And I'm going to put a review up of it tomorrow, and there'll be some art attached to it as well if you go to the blog. But good stuff, yeah.
Awesome.
That's my one.
Awesome. And my recommendation for this week is a book that is it's issue 8 of the series, but I thought I'd just talk about the series and how amazing it is. From Daniel Warren Johnson, who is one of the finest artists anywhere.
And a past guest, pal of ours.
Yeah, and one of the nicest people ever. And this is his series, Murder Falcon. Now, that's the best name ever, but this book is actually very, very special. Basically, the world is under attack by monsters, and Jake's life is falling apart. No band, no girl, no future. Until he meets Murder Falcon. He was sent from the Heavy to destroy all evil, but he can't do it without Jake shredding up a storm. Now, with every chord Jake plays on his guitar, the power of metal fuels Murder Falcon into all-out kung fu fury on those that seek to conquer Earth. It's time to shred. Yes!
I'll have to get this in trade.
Awesome. The trade is going to be absolutely stunning. It's an 8-issue story as well, so it's going to be a pretty chunky tale. And it's not. This is a one and done sort of tale. Which I didn't expect. I thought it was going to be an ongoing series, but this book is so good, man. With this and another book, Out of Darkness, Image have created released 2 of my favourite series of the past few years. And Murder Falcon, I know a lot of people talk about Warren Johnson's series Extremity, which is obviously, and I read that. I read the first issue of that, and it's great, but I sort of fell off that one. But there's a flavour for everyone, isn't there, really? And Murder Falcon was definitely, probably because I'm a metal fan as well, and also it's so ridiculously kinetic. There's a giant, 8-foot falcon with a cybernetic arm that destroys monsters. Who wouldn't love that? But there's also underneath it, that synopsis, you just think it's going to be crazy, over the top, just action. What Daniel always does, and this goes back to Space Mullet as well, is there's a real emotional heart beating underneath it, and so much so that I actually shed a tear when I finished the last book, because of the characters he's built up. And these are characters that have real lives, and real tragedies in their lives that have brought them to this point. And some of them, those story moments, it almost puts the monsters and all these huge explosions in the background. He brings the real quiet moments forward, which only makes the action when the band are playing and everything's kicking off just even more powerful. Because each one of the band, because Jake has a band, and they all sort of get together. But for instance, Jake's got Murder Falcon, and his bass player, they get him a special arcane bass that whenever he plays it, there's a huge mammoth that charges forward. So it's like every musician has their own sort of avatar, sort of monster that fights, the evil and stuff. Which sounds like the greatest animated show I've ever heard of.
I'm definitely getting this for my son. My son loves this stuff as well.
I
think he like this.
This is one of the books of the year. I mean, if anyone who's seen Daniel's art knows that it's absolutely phenomenal stuff that goes on there. The detail as well. There's lots of speed lines, but there's also in issue 8 there was this one like sort of spread across a double page spread. Because even though all this stuff's happened, the world, like monsters are attacking the world, so it's like Pacific Rim. These things are actually happening, and the world is getting involved. So when the Bruticus, who are the band, which is the best name ever for a band, they have to fight the bad guys. They're on like a huge military sort of hangar, and you've got like attack choppers everywhere, like supporting them. And in order to help the band, there's like this wall. It's almost like the wall from bloody Game of Thrones, but it's like it's all speakers. Just set up to sort of help power the band and their music to fight the evil. And I don't want to spoil anything. I think people need to see it for themselves because it hits you in ways that you don't expect. So if you want kinetic action with amazing monsters, amazing design, and then this is for you. If you really want emotional storytelling that will really put your heart through the ringer, but also make you cheer and pump your fist as well, this has got it as well. This is one of the books of the year by far for me.
Has he ever done a Godzilla book?
I don't think he has,
love
but
to see that.
he's if you like that sort of flavour, this is for you as well. He's tailor made for this sort of stuff. But it's like he's incapable of whenever you see his own stuff, he's incapable of doing it that doesn't have some sort of emotional core to it. I mean, Space Marine, even those shorts he did, like the Star Wars one.
Yeah, and he did the Pacific Rim one as well.
Yeah, and both of them are quite tragic.
Deep Space Nine one.
Yeah, and there's always like a sense of tragedy and real tugging at the heartstrings, which, some people would look at the art and think, well, I know he's just a guy that likes drawing like, Akira-like carnage, but there's so much more to this creator. So definitely seek it out. I'm going to be putting Murder Falcon on my wish list. The collection. I got this all in digital on Comixology whenever it came out.
I might get this for the plane home actually.
Yeah, get it because it's really good. And also, if you've got like if you've got a love for music, then you can tell this is made by someone that plays music and loves music as well. I mean, even the interiors of like the sort of the credits at the beginning, because it's him, Mike Spicer is the colorist, and Russ Wotton is the letterer. But even those sort of pages, all decked out like a gig poster. So
we've got our dirty secret pass, haven't we, Vince? Our musical pass.
Oh yeah, we do indeed. But
yeah,
not here, not
have
now.
Have you ever played in a band, Milman?
No, I have not. I have no skills.
You beatbox and I'll rap, and that'd be it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Fortunately, my dirty musical secret goes back prior to the internet, but some of it is still out there.
I'm editing this bit out. Anyway, right. So that's all the recommendations for this week, folks. And thank you very much again, Milmo, for joining us. You're welcome back.
Always a pleasure, Milmo.
Yeah.
You've been on, I think you're one of our most returned guests. I'm going to say 4 or 5 times. We've had you on now. Yeah.
I thought this is my third.
Yeah, but we've done interviews at conventions with you, haven't we?
Shit,
We've done.
Yeah. Tony counts those.
Give me by now.
Yeah. You're on Vince's whiteboard, which looks a bit like serial killer's whiteboard.
Is it? Oh, who is it? So that thing from It's Always Sunny, something Sylvia. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, it's a really good meme.
Oh God.
Hey Sylvia, thing Pablo Sylvia.
Oh God,
I'll send it to you.
We're going to with Charlie in front of the board with all the.
Yes, and he's like.
Yes, I know the one. Yeah. I do know now. Yeah.
God, what are you people? Everyone just thinks so little of me, don't they? Anyway,
I think of you a lot late at night.
Yeah, I know you do.
You're generally not that organised with the people you stalk.
Sort of random stalking.
Yeah.
Or as we refer it, millennial stalking. They don't take it seriously enough.
Oh dear. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed this show. We hope to see you at MCM.
Yes.
But if you want to know more about the show or anything we discussed, just just get in touch with us. There's several different ways you can get in touch with us. You can email us, awesomecomicspod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter @theawesomepod, where, I would say we'll keep updating as the convention sort of goes along. But I don't know, Milmo, what you like of this? It's quite difficult to just sort of update, because I feel like I keep forgetting to update things like Twitter and Instagram when I'm at a convention. Do you ever have that?
Real life gets in the way, doesn't it? You don't really have the... Yeah.
I always think that if somebody's updating a lot, it usually means they're having a really slow day. So,
okay, yeah, look out for them.
So stay tuned to the Awesome Pod, because there'll be a lot happening on that.
Non-stop live tweeting.
Live streaming.
Tea from Costa.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. That'll be on the gram.
Living my best life.
Hashtag.
YOLO.
Hashtag my soul.
Oh dear. Anyway, if you do the Book of Faces, go to facebook.com/awesomecomicspodcast, and if you just want to talk about the convention, if you're looking forward to seeing stuff there, or anything in between, actually, the community is really good on there. Go to Awesome Comics Talk. It's a fantastic group where people just want to talk about comics, making comics, going to conventions. Sometimes there's some funny threads on there and all sorts. I haven't checked out this week, but there's always...
There's a couple of things gone up. I think we were astray. Someone needs to collect their prize or something. I think Richard's just put something up.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, yes. Big shout out to Richard Sheaf, who I saw at Lawrence as well. Yeah.
Oh, nice one.
What legend.
I would like to give a shout out to the fan base. If something annoys you, just make a petition about it. It's a great idea.
I'm going to create a petition to re-record this podcast.
No,
I'm going to have to be with discussion.
No.
Milmo's character didn't play out.
It did not go in the way that I expected and that you set up in episode 50. So,
Well, if you had been paying attention, Sarah, you would have seen that the hints were there all along. You should have just been paying attention. You clearly haven't been listening.
I know. When Aya popped up in episode 79, you should have known. You should have known
that I am in fact Vince's uncle.
Yeah. And I have been sleeping with Dan all along.
Secrets out.
I killed the Night King, obviously.
Anyway, right. Thank you for listening to us, whether it was on the website, awesomecomics.podbean.com. If you listen to us on iTunes, subscribe, leave a review, get the word out about this little show that just wants to shout about all the small press and independent comics everywhere. And because the more people that listen to the show, the more people that discover these great books that we talk about. And creators like Milmo, who bullies us whenever she comes on. Anyway, and thank you for listening to us, whether it's on Spotify, Stitcher, Podnose, Podknife. What other networks are we on, Tony?
We're on Pod, Barbaran, Barbaran.
Jesus.
That's a Surfing USA reference.
I know. It's not like I haven't listened to the Beach Boys, Tony. Jesus.
Although you are one of the Beach Boys. You're the one who put his piano on the beach and lived in the swimming pool, or who's that one who went nuts?
Yeah. Wasn't it? It was Brian. What's his name?
Yeah, Brian Wilson. You're the Brian Wilson, aren't you? The group. Yeah.
But I will say this: Tony Esmond's pet sounds is completely different.
It is.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah. A lot of crying as well.
Is Vince more likely to get savaged by Sharknado over the MCM weekend?
No, I don't know whether he's going to be there, because Sharknado, he doesn't really like anyone else, so I might have to put him in the dog hotel.
Fair enough.
I am going to bring him biscuits, though.
I know, he will like you eventually, but he bites me every day. He do the things today.
Yeah, well, I do that as well. Be prepared for
little
a little
bastard.
Be prepared for a cheeky little nibble, Tony. Do you know what I mean?
He always tries to steal my dog anyway.
Who?
You do.
Me?
You tried to steal the emotions of my last dog.
Look, he was my best friend.
He was.
Anyway, thank you for listening, folks. Where can people find us on Twitter, etc.? I almost missed that bit then. I was having so much fun until I realised where I was. So where can people find us on Twitter, etc.? Tony?
If you go to EZOHYZ and neverhidanything.blogspot.co.uk, carries on with Honest Review Month.
Yeah,
so, this has been dynamite, mate.
Yeah.
Thank you, mate. Cheers. I'm 22 in the bag now.
Yeah.
And I've got I think sort of a few more to write, but getting there. And there'll be I'll do a little post about how it's turned out at the end.
Yeah.
It's surprised me. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, and a big shout out to all the people that have like sent in stuff to Tony.
Yeah,
and,
loads of people.
and the way they've interacted because they've been very.
Everyone's been very adult, and I will get to your book. I mean, I'm writing 1,000 words a day on this at least, and I'm also. Some people have sent me books in and I've said, look, would you rather I just, some people have rather had just a private communication about it, and I kind of dig that, and I've gone through some stuff, and everyone's been really adult about it, and everyone has said, look, this is more needed. But I've got like a little examination of numbers and types of things and stuff that I'll probably roll out later in the month. Yeah,
nice.
There you go.
So stay tuned for that. Dan, what about you?
You can find me on Twitter, and you can read Vanguard at vanguardcomic.com. I've only got 4 more pages left of this issue. That's another fucking issue done.
Cracking,
I'll be moving on to 17 later in this year.
Bloody hell. You never stop.
What if I can get wrapped up by 20?
Blimey.
Yeah, then what are you going to do with your life?
Yeah. What are you going to do, Dan? Actually, don't think about that, because I need you in like real positive mood.
I would stop making comics.
Yeah. Write in if you know what Dan should do.
Yeah. Oh, don't do that.
Probably say draw my comic.
Yeah, it's free.
Anyway, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jester Diablo, and you can find out more about my comic at theredmousefrommars.com. And the Mighty Milmo, where can people find you, etc.?
You can find me on Twitter at heart_of_time. And that's probably the best place to find me. You can find me also on heartoftime.co.uk, but it's basically links to my Twitter and everything else. You can find most stuff on my Twitter. Just speak to me on Twitter. Okay, thanks.
But you can also see all of us, every single one of us, at MCM this weekend. So
Woo!
we hope to see you there. That was the positive noises that we wanted to sign off.
Trying to be a hype person.
You say hype person, but you lost the enthusiasm halfway through that sentence.
It's like, MCM. Oh God.
Oh God. Why? So we hope to see you there. Stay tuned for how it actually happened, how it turned out on the next show. Thank you for listening. And from Dan, Tony, Sarah, and myself, have a brilliant week. Read loads of cool comics. Stay safe. Stay warm. Stay fruity. And as always, what do they do, Tony?
Why are you picking on me again? Stay awesome.
Yeah, that's it. Should we get Sarah to say it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do they do, Sarah?
Stay awesome.
That's how I feel.
Oh, that was.
So do it properly.
Yeah, go on. So, what do they do, Sarah?
Stay awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a little bit.
So you arrange and you can just pick the one.
Yeah. No, we're going to put them all in. You don't do no editing.
No, I'll tell you what. Let's leave it to the professional. Dan Butcher. Everyone should have a great week. And what should they do?
Stay awesome.
See ya.
The power.
See, that's the one.
See ya. You could be called Lou.
Lou, Sarah Lou.
All right, Lou. It'd be like that, wouldn't it?
Go down the pub.
I've got 4 middle names. Have I ever told you this, boy?
Yeah.
I've got 4. Yeah, William George MacDonald, Primus.
Primus is bollocks.
Yeah, try and make it more professional than my fucking intro last week, please.
Wouldn't be hard. I could just go.